Hello. Good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network, the longest running HBCU sports themed show on the internet. My name's Brian Fulford. That's A.D. Drew. Drew, good evening to you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my brother. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well.
Finally made it back to the home studio after starting this morning in the remote studio.
Yeah, we we were both somewhere off of I-10. I think
I was surprised we didn't bump into each other as we were both driving on I-10 this morning.
Right, coming from two different directions, heading towards
you coming from Tallahassee, I'm coming from Jacksonville, but we hit 75 at two different times.
Right.
You going south, me going north.
Yeah, definitely. Hello to the our HBCU friends and family that are tuned in, watching the show here on this Sunday evening. A beautiful Sunday evening it is. Week 5 of the HBCU football season, or week 4, if you're one of those people that like to live in the backwards world of Division II. But it is what it is. A third of the season, or the first quarter of the season, is kind of come to a close, Drew. And, the start of conference play in the SWAC got underway. And, man, I tell you, a lot of fan bases are, if they were upset the first 3-4 weeks of the season, man, the tempers and the emotions have been ramped up a notch after just 1 week of conference play, or I should say another week of football action, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like the shipment of white folding chairs did arrive from Montgomery in Tallahassee and were used at a point in time in the game at Bragg Memorial Stadium, as Alabama State put a butt whipping on our beloved Rattlers. But Brian, that's not even the worst thing of it. I was just checking, and it looks like both Albany State and Benedict have scored another touchdown in SIAC play after the outrageous scores that they put up this weekend. And Johnson C. Smith, along with Virginia Union in the CIAA, have tacked on additional scores.
Hey, look,
Brian, it's tough when you have a 69 put on your Bluefield State, but that's all I can say, man.
This was definitely some belts came out today. And between the belts and the comebacks, that's why I called this the belts and comeback. I mean, there were some belts that were pulled out as a lot of folks were exercising some demons. And man, there were some close games and some losses. What's the phrase I always like to say? Defeat snatched from the jaws of victory.
Right. That was plenty of BTA. From the
jaws of defeat this weekend.
And there was plenty of BTA this weekend.
Oh yeah, definitely. There surely was. So appreciate everybody for coming into the chat rooms. If you're watching in the chats on the YouTube feed, my JBN Online, the Jericho Broadcast Network's Black College Sports Network YouTube page, where you can choose to be a subscriber if you want to be a part of the chats, or you can even go one step further and join the YouTube channel there and be a supporter of the Black College Sports Network and all of the shows that we drop out there. Thank you to everybody watching on the Facebook feeds, on Black College Sports Network and our BCSN SportsWrap page. Instagram Live is running, as well as the Twitter streams. So hello to each and everyone watching, man. I tell you, man, I want to start the show. I'm gonna be careful here as I start the show with this. And I think it's real interesting watching the line that we get offended by when it's perceivably stepped over, and the line that we allow when it comes to comments that are made. It's real interesting. I always sometimes call this the faux outrage, Drew. FAUX, faux outrage. Because we are as a community, and I'm talking the HBCU sports community, and if you want to take this even a step further and talk about the Black community, you can. But I'm always intrigued by what we are outraged about. I really am. I chuckle. I don't chuckle out loud because I know that creates sensitivity problems for folks. But we get, sometimes the things we get outraged about, I head scratch. One of the top non-sports stories that are running right now in HBCU sports has to do with comments made at the halftime show at the Florida A&M and Alabama State game, right? Towards the dance troupe of Alabama State. And what always is striking to me is if you've been to any halftime show long enough, and we've certainly been attending HBCU halftimes for 30 some odd years plus.
30 plus.
The word respect and disrespect, I get a chuckle at what we get outraged about because it never ceases to amaze me. At some point during those comments that are made in between the performances, every announcer is trying to one up the next guy with some joke, some jab, and eventually somebody gets offended. Somebody says, "Oh, you're disrespecting us. You're disrespecting our team, our band, our school." And the outrage, it's just like a step one level trying to outdo another. Okay. And you're always pressing the buttons to see which jokes can be said and which jokes can't be said. And maybe the jokes that were okay in the 90s and the early 2000s are jokes that, aren't jokes that are allowed to be said today, right? So I'm always amazed at the line in which people are outraged by. And so, and then of course, the culture that we have where everybody has instant access to react and drop opinions, right? That gets amplified as well. So while I'm certainly not going to sit here and join the crowd of people who are calling for, jobs, And I will just say I'm always interested because I think as I was listening to another show this afternoon, there was another band incident in which the words like respect and disrespect were tossed around, like on the air, on the mic. And so I'm like, in the band culture, in the band halftime shows, what is respectful and what is not disrespectful? Okay. And I get that, comments were made about and towards students. Okay. I understand that. But again, what we allow and what we don't allow, at what point do we draw the line? When is enough is enough? So I'm just speaking rhetorically. I'm not really looking for an answer, Drew. I'm just putting it out there, and I'm not justifying one or the other. And look, I'm not the society police, so your opinions are always welcome, and that's why I'm running them on the chat. So your opinions can be heard. I'm just putting it out there to say, be careful about your outrage, because what you're outraged about today, I'll be interested to see if the next joke or comment, because there will be more, there will be others, there will be something else. How outraged will you be about that? And will you be as outraged about it then as you were yesterday? That's all I find interesting. And I'm going to end my little 2 or 3 minutes commentary there. So I appreciate everybody's comments, and it's always, I respect everybody's comments. So it's interesting to read. I have no comment and opinion except my comments and opinions about what you're outraged about. That's all.
Part of the band culture, especially when it revolves around HBCUs, Bryan, is the petty. Mm-hmm. Bands are petty. They go after each other. And in our quick to cancel culture that we are in now, there is a very fine line that you have to walk. And you're right. Things that we have gotten away with, especially when we were in school, hell, Bryan, 5-10 years ago, you can't get away with now, especially in the light of the most recent years with women empowerment and the Me Too movement. There are certain things that we used to call, what was it, locker room talk, Bryan, that get you in trouble on your job now.
Yeah.
Will get you written up, will get you reprimanded, will get you suspended and or fired, depending on who the comment was about and how they feel about it. This is one of those situations, Bryan. So, but institutions going back and forth at each other is nothing new. Hell, FAMU has been the butt of jokes for years, especially with some of the stuff that FAMU does to itself.
Oh yeah,
we have been the butt of jokes. Jeremy Gate didn't faze us because we've been the butt of many jokes long before that. But you said inappropriate things on air. I've said inappropriate things on air. Own it. Apologize for it. The one person that we have not heard from in this whole situation is Joe Bullock.
Right.
To my knowledge. And you may have seen something. Right.
No, haven't seen anything yet.
We've seen FAMU president.
Yeah.
We've seen
Alabama State
president. We've seen coaches from Alabama State, our beloved Coach P, who used to be a Rattler, who's now at Alabama State. We've seen people from FAMU come out and apologize and say those are. We even seen people who have nothing to do with either institution weigh their 2 cents in on it. Only thing I'm going to say about this, Brian, is let's reserve comment until we get a statement from Joe Bullock. If Joe Bullock comes back and say, "Hey, it was inappropriate. I was trying to, I was trying to make a funny, however he wants to put it. I apologize to those young women. I apologize to Alabama State University, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." And he's sincere about it. We, as whether you support the 100 or not, you have to accept it for what it is, as a sincere apology. If it's some PR generated apology, then you have to take that with a grain of salt, Brian. Do I support the body shaming type comments? No. That's never good. Especially when you consider the time, the effort, everything that it goes into putting on those performances, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And the honeybees be up there getting down, Brian. They
I mean, it was they looked like they gave a good show. I mean, it was a good performance from what I was seeing.
Down. Yeah. You were in the stadium. I don't even know if you were actually, because I know during halftime, especially when you're doing play-by-play, sometimes that's the only time.
Yeah, we were in the middle of the halftime show. No, I didn't even have a break. There's no break during that time. I'm in the middle of doing the halftime show, so it's not like I had a chance to get away or even use the bathroom, because I'm in the middle of we have a halftime show that we're doing.
Okay. So, but were you able to pick up any type of reaction in the stadium, in the broadcast booth? After that, was it a hush that came over the crowd? Like, oh, did he just
there
say
were plenty of people. There are plenty of people who were there that I did speak to after the game. They appropriately commented. There were boos. There were silence. There was, "Oh no, you didn't." Those kind of. There was shock, aghast, all those kinds of expressions were they were there, and I only got that from what I heard after the game, and I've seen a video or two online. I personally couldn't hear that because of where I was. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of, "Ooh, no, he didn't," and "Ooh," there were some boos and some things. So, yeah, for the people who were there, and I know some of them are in our chat, you guys know they'll tell you, and you'll see it in the chat scroll. The reaction was very clear and very much majority, 99 probably 0.9%. Thought it was inappropriate for that environment and disrespectful towards those young ladies, and maybe even they'll say it was disrespectful towards Alabama State as well. So yeah, all that was evident, and sadly, you didn't get an instant reaction because I can't speak for Joe Bullard, and I don't know if Joe Bullard is someone who is on social media enough to jump on social media and offer an apology, or whether there was a statement from his people, his quote unquote people, whoever those might be, to issue an apology. Florida A&M did what it needed to do via President Marva Johnson, which was issue the statement that she issued. And that was that. Now we'll see what happens.
One other person we have not heard from, Brian, the band director.
Yeah, because it does take away from I mean, he's
because ultimately he's responsible for what Joe puts out over the air.
Yes.
Approving script or notes for the script, because I don't know how much of that Joe freelances versus it's an actual written script.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there will be meetings tomorrow morning, Monday morning, first thing, 9 a.m. or whatever time people meet on a Monday morning. I'm sure there will be meetings. And you will probably
Zoom calls today.
Possibly, probably by noon there might be some kind of statement. I don't think it'll go too long into the day on Monday because people want an instant reaction of something. Yeah, I don't know if they're meeting. Like Troy said, meeting on Sunday. Yeah, who knows if they're gonna meet
Football
on Sunday.
coaches were.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, wrong.
All
subject,
over
wrong
the
subject. Wrong subject.
Yeah. So yeah, it remains to be seen. So
yeah,
but
keep the petty at the institutions. Don't make the petty at the people representing the institutions. Does that?
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. What I just said.
Yeah, possibly. I look that Ram Nation Steve brings up a great point. Look, of all it was hard to tell post game who people were more upset with, whether it was Joe Bullard or Coach Colsey. I'm not gonna lie. If I took a poll, I think it'd be 50-50, and it might go 60-40 Joe Bullard. I don't know. I think there might have been more instant heat and reaction towards him than there was. So yeah, I could see how someone could say he took some heat off of Coach Colsey. No doubt. So yeah. Well, Troy says Colsey. There's gonna be a segment that's gonna say Colsey. But I think overall, when you think just generally, I think generally would say Bullard. And the story that's probably gonna be more talked about is that story than the game story. So that tells you where band culture and what was said goes. Now, here's what's going to be quick because, I hate to say this, Drew. We are Florida A&M University, and when we do things, good or bad, it becomes news. Pay attention to the Monday morning news on your national local TVs because for God's sakes, if I'm making a bold prediction here, Drew, if one of those news shows today, CBS This Morning, or Good Morning America, God forbid,
that's gonna be the second job Bullard had lost in the last 3 months.
It very well might be. It very well might be. I know that story is picking up stream on look, my sister even called me. She read the article on HBCU Game Day, and she was like, "Man, what did your band do? What did your band announcer do during the game?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm half awake when she told me that when she called me this morning, and she's reading the article. So congratulations, Steve. That article is all over the interwebs, and sadly, it's picking up stories. So again, we have seen news stories about Florida A&M catch fire, and so there's about a 48-hour window here, Drew, with the news cycle. So if Monday or Tuesday that story hits one of the national networks, woo, boy, yeah, it's gonna be ugly. It's not gonna be good for Mr. Bullard. So
only thing I'm gonna say is Joe Bullard, if you come to Atlanta next week for what is this thing called? The Georgia Classic,
Georgia Football Classic.
Georgia Football Classic.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, Joe. Don't grab the low-hanging fruit.
Well, again, my bold prediction, I will not be surprised if he's suspended for a game or two. Would not be surprised. I'm not calling for that because that's not my job to be calling for people's suspensions and jobs. So don't ask me on these chat rooms, should he be fired? That's not my opinion. I'm not in a position to hire, fire, or suspend anybody. Jobs are precious as they are. But I will say I won't be surprised. Okay, so there it is. And yes, you did have a quick response from both presidents, HBCU Game Day and national syndicated news organization and articles. And then you've got the people from the Tallahassee Democrat that'll get picked up nationally. So, yeah, just something to keep your eyes on. We've seen it happen before.
And great job of Steve and the guys over HBCU Game Day giving it the appropriate coverage. Yeah.
Okay, so as we get to stuff that happened on the field, and I felt just the need to start there because, as I said, it was the sadly it was the top story of the weekend. Definitely was. I mean, there are a lot of good games, and a lot of stories to tell about the action on the field and the post game and all that stuff. But man, that kind of took the lead. So as we get ready to kind of talk, I thought, and Drew brought this up and said, man, we ought to start with the MEAC first. I like, yeah, because, we catch a lot of heat because it's like, oh, man, there's a lot of SWAC stuff. You guys talk about the SWAC, blah, blah, blah. And I know the SWAC is in conference play, so we'll get to talking about that here shortly. But I thought it'd be, Drew, we definitely gotta make mention of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference as we go. And as we look at these scores, right? And I was kind of going through this morning and looking at the preview of the games and the outcomes. I noticed something about those first early games. And I'm talking the Norfolk State at Wagner, Delaware State at Sacred Heart, and Howard at Richmond. I'm starting with those three games on the left. Because in all three of those games, the MEAC schools had a lead at halftime and going into the fourth quarter. And sadly, all three teams ended up losing in one fashion or another.
I thought you was going to play Captain Obvious, Brian, and state that the whole MEAC was on the road this past Saturday.
Well, you know what? You're right. The whole MEAC was on the road. 5 road games and 1 neutral site game. Yeah, I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch that. That would have been the obvious pick. And that, well, maybe and that they went 2-4. And actually, the one game that Morgan won was against Division II Miles College, but
which they were a paw away from losing.
Yes, that's a great way of saying it. We'll explain that in just a moment. But let me start with the Delaware State Sacred Heart contest. Delaware State ended up losing 35-31. Delaware State drops to 3-2. They had a 31-20 lead at halftime. They had put up 345 yards of total offense at halftime, Drew. As I was going through the box scores of games throughout, FCS, I could probably count on one hand, maybe even two, that Delaware State surpassed many a team's total offense in just a half. I mean, there were some schools that didn't hit 345 in the whole game, and Delaware State had that in a half. They were rolling 31-20. You see the final score. Shutout in the second half. And one of the storylines that, I did read the article on HBCU Sports.com by Chris Stevens. And I was even watching the HBCU Game Day show that came on just before us. Delaware State's quarterback was ejected in the first quarter after scoring a touchdown in which Del State went up 14-7. And the reason he was ejected, according to the article and what I heard, was that the official said he did not give back the ball quickly because he scored on a kind of a quarterback keeper around the corner, barely crossed the pylon. And so as he is crossing the pylon, he's running towards the crowd, which is angled there towards the end zone. And you can see it on the video that I saw. Somebody extends a hand out and he gives a high five to that fan and a couple other fans there on that front row. And then he turns and he starts to run back. And there is an official there, I guess, trying to maybe keep him away from the crowd or whatever. And I didn't see the official necessarily calling for the ball, but he ends up giving the ball to the white hat, who, when he starts to come back onto the field, he tosses the ball to the white hat. Now, he did pass 2 other officials. I didn't see any of them necessarily calling for the ball, and he didn't throw the ball down on the ground or chuck it into the stands or anything. He did toss it to the white hat. But the caveat to that is there was some chirping going on pregame, and apparently both teams were giving a warning, and that the next unsportsmanlike penalty by either team would result in an ejection, right? So when that occurred, apparently the official threw a flag, said unsportsmanlike, obviously for whatever, not getting the ball back fast enough to the official, which then triggered the ejection of the quarterback. And I was floored. I was looking at it again, looking at the video, and I'm like, now again, I don't think MEAC referees were the officials on site.
Not in this game. What that's Sacred Heart's Pioneer?
You got me. Yeah,
I believe that's Pioneer League.
Yeah. So
here's the other thing, Brian. What was the score at that point?
It was 14 from what I saw, it was 14-7. He had just scored, and I'm talking about Caden Bennett. Caden Bennett had just scored a touchdown there in the first quarter.
So here's the thing, Brian. They still put up 21 more points with the backup quarterback.
Sure. For sure.
The problem was they gave up 28 additional points by the defense. There's the problem. It was not offensive production because they lost their starting quarterback. 21 points. Yeah. 1 point, 1 touchdown per quarter. Most days, Brian, that's what you want out your offense.
Right. Yeah.
The thing is, you don't want your defense giving up more than 1 touchdown per quarter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was, as Charles said, nasty work ejecting. Again, when you see the video, you'll see the video and you're like, man, that's tough. That's a bad break. Seeing that happen, seeing how that played out, no doubt. So Jaden Soray, I believe I'm saying his name right. He continued on the game. Overall, he was 12 of 18, 207 yards and a score. Marquise Gillis of Del State, 13 carries, 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. James Jones, 9 carries, 97 yards. I mean, listen to the numbers. I mean, they got 2 backs that are averaging 9 and 10 yards a carry, Drew. Again, I told you what they ran in the first half. Now, the second half did not go Del State's way. Who knows? Maybe it was a product of not having your starting quarterback in the second half, right? On the last offensive possession of the fourth quarter, Del State had given up basically the go-ahead score to Sacred Heart. They ended up turning the ball over on downs there at the end of that drive, a drive that never really threatened a score. But, I mean, that's a disappointing loss. And I'm sure, I don't know, maybe someone saw the comments. Del State probably, Deshaun Jackson is probably not going to blame that ejection on the loss. I mean, you were dominating that team in the first half without Caden Bennett, and you got to keep your foot on your opponent's throat. Penalties. I don't know. Did you see what the penalty? I'm going to look real quick. I know penalties have sort of been plaguing Del State of late, and they had 10 for 125 in this game. I think, I don't know what Del State is averaging on the season in terms of penalties, but
double-digit penalties is never good. Triple-digit yardage is never good.
Yeah. You know what? I did not know Clinton Portis was the running back coach over at Del State. Woo. That's serious. That's serious. Yes, he is. He is killing it. If there was an assistant coach of the year, he would definitely be in the running for it, no doubt. But that's a tough loss for Del State, man. This was a game that you think they could have won and could have moved to a 4-1 record. And who knows? They might have shot up the ranks on a lot of people's polls, right teetering close to the top probably would have moved up to number 4 in a few people's polls. You know, I saw Dr. Cavill's poll this morning. I think they may have dropped a spot, didn't they? Are they still in the top 7?
They stayed at 7.
Okay, stayed at 7. But I think had they won this game, they probably could have been as high as maybe 4. I might have put them 4. You know, if in my votes, I would have moved them to 4 possibly. You know, so yeah.
Probably 5
also,
for me.
5 for you? Yeah.
4 or 5. I would have debated between them and PV.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that. The Norfolk State game, Norfolk State jumped out to a 13-0 lead in the first quarter. They ended up losing, of course, 18-13 to a winless Wagner team. You know, I just mentioned the 345 that Dell State had in total offense in one half. Norfolk State had 288 in the entire game. They were 6 of 15 on third down. And, you know, Wagner's first points came after Norfolk State interception, somewhere between the third and fourth quarter. And then Wagner, that would be the first of 3 consecutive possessions in which they scored touchdowns. Norfolk State's final drive in the fourth quarter turned into an interception with 2:02 left in the ball game. Zach said Norfolk State looks real bad. That's not a good team. Well, you know, the biggest difference is probably personnel. Biggest difference between and maybe the quarterback position. I think Delaware State has a quarterback. Norfolk State does not have a quarterback. I don't know if anybody is analyzing. This is what I'm curious about. Those of you who are watching Norfolk State, are you watching Norfolk State and watching Mike Vick from a personnel perspective, or are you watching it from a coaching game management perspective? And I'm curious to hear what the thoughts are there. Because I don't know if what should we really expect from Mike Vick from a first-year head coach? First year, you know what I'm saying? Should we really expect great game management? And, you know, should we?
Brian, you got to surround yourself with people who take up your deficiencies or inefficiencies. Can't hire your buddies.
Oh, so you're going there. Ooh, Drew. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm gonna step out of the way on that one. That's a strong take. Okay. Also, Howard. Now, as tough a loss as Delaware State's loss was, Howard's loss, that's got to make you sick. I feel for my friend Erica because she told us, I think I picked Howard. I was very close to picking Howard. I might have picked Howard. I don't know.
I hope you had the points.
No, I did not. I was talking in the pick 5 contest.
Oh.
I might have picked Howard. But Howard was on my radar as a team that I think I wanted to back because I did hear her. She was on the show last week. She told us that she thought they would be very competitive against Richmond. And they were. They were for 3.5 quarters. They were up 12-0. They were leading at halftime. They held Richmond to 164 yards of total offense, Drew. The time of possession was practically 3/4 to 1. 42 minutes and 9 seconds versus 17 minutes and 51 seconds. The problem, Drew, 2 fourth-quarter interceptions. Yes, turnovers. 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter turned into Richmond touchdowns. They end up taking the lead, 13-12. But Howard's never down. They had a chance. The same young man, Matt Kennard, same guy who defeated FAMU in the Orange Blossom Classic with a game-winning field goal, had a 38-yard field goal attempt with 3:04 in the fourth quarter, Drew. Hits the goalpost. I think it was the right goalpost that he hit. They also had one blocked in the game, too. So, I mean, I think Howard was 1 for 3 on field goal attempts.
The foot giveth and the foot taketh away.
Foot giveth and yes, it does. It did. So I don't know. Howard drops the 3-2. Another team that could have been 4-1 and really could have been another feather in the cap in the MEAC's power ratings as a conference. But you let them off the hook. As
we had them right where we wanted them, and we let them off the hook.
We let them off the hook. Let them off the hook. Keep an eye out on Anthony Reagan Jr. Looking at the stat book, the young man had 20 carries, 129 yards. That's a 6.5 average and a touchdown. He had 4 kickoff returns for 84 yards, an average of 21. Dude was balling. Dude was balling.
So, my next question, Brian, what has happened to South Carolina State?
Oof. That's a good question, Drew.
You need some time to think about that one?
Young, inexperienced. I'll tell you what, though. I'll take a pause so that we can go to a break. And South Carolina did something that now 2 HBCU FCS programs have done, the unthinkable, especially if you walked into these games looking at the matchup. They are now the second team in the month of September. Well, the second team in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I'll put it like that because I think the other game happened at the end of August. But, yeah, the second team in 30 days that has done the unthinkable. I'll talk about that on the other side, and we'll finish up our MEAC recap and then get into talking about the SWAC recap because I know that's what some of y'all are itching to talk about or hear. So we'll talk about that on the other side. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU
college football fans. The Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D here. Appreciate all you guys in the chat rooms. Great comments. Hit the thumbs up and the like button if you would be so kind. Also, want to give a reminder to, hey, we have this thing called the BCSN Pod Zone. And if you are a podcast listener, I would encourage all of you to go and be a subscriber of the BCSN Pod Zone on your favorite podcast platforms: Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google Podcasts. For example, if you missed the Carlos Brown show on Saturday because you were kind of running around getting busy for your college football Saturday, you can go to the Pod Zone, download, and listen to Carlos and the panel. And this will be prior to Carlos's game and Charles Edmonds' game. And I'm sure their demeanor was probably a lot different at 12 noon Eastern than it was later in the day. Hint, hint. You also will soon be able to listen to, if you missed this morning's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the Sunday morning recap, that too will be available a little bit later on the BCSN Pod Zone. So all of the shows on the Black College Sports Network are available. Please go download, rate, review, and subscribe if you would. All right. So we started and we were talking about South Carolina State. And I mentioned, Drew, South Carolina State now holds the distinction of being the second HBCU FCS team to essentially help end a double-digit losing streak by their opponent. Charleston Southern was on a 14-game losing streak heading into the matchup. That joins Alcorn State, who opened the season against Northwestern State, who was on a 20-game losing streak. Northwestern State ended up winning, defeating Alcorn State in the season opener. Alcorn State has not recovered because they have not won a game. More to come. Third, if you count Hampton A&T. Interesting.
Yeah, that is true.
Which one? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, okay. That's a good one, yeah. Good point, Steve. South Carolina State outgained Charleston Southern 449 to 345 in the contest. The Bulldogs, after trailing 14-0 in the fourth quarter, scored 2 touchdowns in the second to tie it up at 14. And then just before halftime, Charleston Southern scored a touchdown on a scoop and score to give themselves a 21-14 lead just before halftime. In the third quarter, South Carolina State would tie the game. And then an interception. Then they would intercept the pass on the ensuing Charleston Southern possession. Unfortunately, they weren't able to score out of that. Both teams traded field goals in the fourth quarter. Game is now tied up at 24-24. Charleston Southern's final possession, 6 plays, 60 yards. They score a touchdown with 2:53 left to play in the fourth quarter. South Carolina State unable to match with the score in the ball game. Final score, Charleston Southern at home, 31, 24. That was a game that I did lose in my pick 5 because I did have South Carolina. I thought South Carolina State could beat a team. You know, this is the second time, Drew. I've only lost a handful of games in the pick 5 in 5 weeks. This is now the second time that I picked a team that was facing an opponent on a double-digit losing streak, and they lost. Yeah. So that, Drew, and that and picking against Bethune-Cookman and picking against Howard has cost me. That is now cost me. Those are my 6 losses right there. So I don't know if those qualify as bad beats, but they feel like bad beats. Ryan Stubblefield of South Carolina State went 18 of 24, 194 passing yards. He also had 18 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns in the game. Do we have a thought? Do we have an answer on what's going on with South Carolina State, or do we just chalk it up to, you know, the off season? It's to be expected from this team that's maybe still trying to find their identity right now.
Quarterback play.
Quarterback play, huh? Okay.
I mean, you had Eric Phoenix there last year, who was a big equalizing eraser when things went bad and had to go off schedule. You're not getting the same production. Yes, you're not getting that same production at their position this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So you right there with me, ODB. Yeah, man. That's another bad loss for us. But anyway, we'll talk about the pick 5 results later. Also in the MEAC, a classic that is near and dear to my heart, the Circle City Classic, featured Morgan State and Miles College. And I will start. Did you check in with our friend regarding that question, Drew? Did you get a response?
That was accurate, Brian.
Holy cow. Okay, so the game is played in the Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Indianapolis Colts, who are right now on the road in LA playing the Rams, right? A stadium that seats 56,000 something plus. According to the data, the numbers, and Mike Jefferson, who was there, the attendance for the game was 3,000 people. I am floored. I'm embarrassed as someone who grew up loving this classic and what this classic meant to the Black community, the Midwest HBCU community. For only 3,000 people to be at the Circle City Classic, that's a low. And I mean, there have been some,
Brian, for only 3,000 people to be at any classic in an NFL stadium is embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, wow. The game was probably a good game according to all reports, and according to what I've read. I didn't see the game, didn't see the highlights, but Morgan State, get the 24-17 win. Look, Morgan State had a 17-7 lead going into the fourth quarter. Miles scored 10 points, a touchdown, and a field goal. They scored the field goal with 5:15 to play, tying the game at 17.
Zach,
y'all are piling on Morgan right now.
I hate this, Brian. I hate when somebody plays cap obvious and is right about what they say. But Zach, you may have hit it on the head with this one.
Yeah, this part, them boys, the fact that you didn't even know the game was being played tells me that either they couldn't sell this game or they just didn't put no promotion or thought behind this game. I don't know, man. I mean, first off, the matchup is I'm sorry. I mean, Bears versus Golden Bears. That's not a sexy matchup. I mean, you know, I know it's the Midwest, but where Bears go to hibernate, by the way. And this must have been a sleepy crowd because nobody came to see this game. And yes, maybe it was because of the attraction of who was there.
I know 65 would take you from Birmingham into Indianapolis, but what's the route from Indianapolis to Baltimore, Brian? Is it multiple highways?
Probably
70?
Mostly I-70 to, I'm sure. I don't know if there's an I-70 connection. I'm sorry.
70 takes you into Virginia.
Okay, so then there may be some kind of connector, I'm sure. What about 64? Because you can get the 64 from 70, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so 64.
I think.
But Brian, Brian,
hold on, Drew, because the game has a little bit of drama, Drew. The game has some drama because, as I mentioned, the game is tied up with about 5 minutes to go. After a Morgan State drive goes blunt, Miles basically drives, gets to essentially a 27-yard field goal attempt with 1 minute and 17 to play, going for the lead and probably might be a win.
Can I say something, Brian?
Sure.
A 27-yard field goal attempt means the ball is on about the 9 or 10-yard line. Because you spot the ball 7 to 8 yards deep. So let's assume the 10, 7 yards deep. That means you're spotting the ball on the 17, which means Miles was driving down and in position to score a touchdown. Yes. The hell with the field goal.
Right. And that's where the field goal, the 27-yard field goal, was blocked by Morgan State's Josiah Blake, and Jaden Carter returns it 94. Was not officially 94, but he returned it for a touchdown, maybe some 70-something yards for the game-winning score. Final score: Morgan 24, Miles 17. It wasn't even on TV? Are you serious? Bless it. The game wasn't even, that's probably a first too.
So, Brian,
what has happened to my Circle City Classic? Anyway, of all the oppressing numbers, me hearing that only 3,000 people went to this game is the most depressing. Go ahead, Drew. Sorry.
How many of them 3,000 actually paid for their ticket?
Well, don't do that.
Stop right there. Stop. Just stop. Don't answer that out loud.
Wow.
Because there's always comp tickets. No, or even worse, how many people were given comp tickets and still didn't show up? All right.
Yeah, you got to imagine there were some comp tickets given, right? I got to imagine there were comp tickets given.
Brian, 3,000 people. How many suites were sold? If any. Because that's part of the reason for going to that stadium is to be able to sell the suites. Does this event revolve around the Black Expo anymore?
Well, first off, Black Expo is a summer event. Black Expo happens in July. So it never really was, other than the organizers of Black Expo in the summer, are the organizers who created the Circle City Classic. That's it. The organization, Indiana Black Expo.
Are they still part of this Circle City, or is this a different organization?
So. I think they were. When I was talking to Jefferson at the MEAC SWAC, or at the SWAC Media Day, he was, it's the same. Now, it has not been the same since the late Reverend Charles Williams died. It hasn't been the same. The leadership of Black Expo, they have somehow fumbled the bag. Yeah, basically, from what I'm told. Obviously, I'm not in Indianapolis. My parents aren't there, so my ties to Indianapolis are I still have friends there, but I don't even hear them talking about the Circle City Classic. We grew up talking about going to the Classic, going to the events, the parties, all the stuff. I don't know.
So, Brian, that leads me to another question. Is there another venue besides Lucas Oil where if this game is going to continue, that it could be played in Indianapolis.
There's
because
no other indoor
playing this game,
stadiums.
I didn't say it had to be indoor, but because playing this game in a 65,000 seat stadium with 3,000 people, I mean, this look worse than Tennessee State at home.
Yes. Wow, that's a dig. Yes, you're right. You're right.
I'm sorry. Don't fire me for the petty. Don't fire me for the petty.
I don't think there is no other place this game could be played.
No college stadium or anything else.
No, I mean the college stadiums but the magic of the Circle City Classic is that it's always been played in the NFL stadium. Now, I don't know to what degree the Indianapolis Colts, I thought the Colts were partners in this in helping
underwrite it.
Somehow, maybe that would seem to be a fit because, the Colts have a few players who are HBCU guys. So, I know there is some, I don't know, man. I would love to do a report and do some research, and if I had a little more time to kind of find out what happened to the Circle City Classic, man. I would love to do a report about what happened.
Here are the only teams that I think are going to draw in Indianapolis, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because that's your hometown, Brian. Kentucky State would draw.
I think they did draw better than this when they played in. As a matter of fact, they beat Jackson State in this game.
Yeah, Central State would draw.
Yeah,
Lincoln of Missouri would draw there.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Lincoln of Missouri would draw. If you're talking about FCS teams, Tennessee State, I think, would draw there. But if you're talking FCS
Tennessee State
teams,
would draw.
If you're talking,
I don't understand why Tennessee State doesn't play in that game.
Because they used to be bound to this Southern Heritage, Brian. Remember?
It is the same weekend. Yep.
Yeah, and now that they have that 4-year deal with Alabama A&M, I don't think that's a viable option for them either. So, outside of getting a Jackson State or a Florida A&M or possibly a Southern to come up that direction, which is going to cost probably more coin than the budget allows, I don't see a hope for this, especially with 2 FCS teams, Brian.
That would be a heck of a bag. I don't know. That would take a lot of money. I would think.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the budget would allow it.
Right. There it is. That part, though. Somebody could pay for it if the sponsors, if the Circle City Classic were really on their ish. Yeah, they definitely should pay for it because it would be a great crowd.
Right. And I'll tell you the one thing that they aren't getting out of this with only 3,000 people attending, Brian. They're not getting heads and beds. Nobody's coming to Indianapolis for this game. Of that 3,000, I bet you 2,800, 2,900 were locals.
Well, first off, anybody who knows about Indianapolis, it's a great city for events. So
we know
there's plenty of hotels.
If it's basketball,
no, they host football championships in Indianapolis, Drew. Whether you can draw HBCU sports teams and fans on the Black community from outside of Indianapolis to these hotels might be the bigger challenge in question. Because I'm sure back in the day, they used to promote this in other cities. I don't know if that happens anymore, So I don't know. I got to talk to some people. I got to spend my week asking the question of my people back in
They need to go get some of the 500 people and see if they can help them with this. And I mean the Indy 500, y'all. See if they can get them to help them out with this. Different crowd, I know.
Thank you. That's a whole different crowd, Drew. They can care 2 flips about the Circle City Classic.
Hey, Brian, you know what they say once you go black?
let's move on. The last game in the MEAC in the recap, North Carolina Central versus East Texas A&M. And from a couple different perspectives, Drew, I thought this would be an interesting game because prior to this point, we've seen Central look really good, and we've seen Central look not so good. Okay. And we just saw them put up probably one of the record performances against their rival. And the biggest question is, can you go on the road and replicate or really do something very close to what you did? And I think they went on the road and proved that they are for real. And I think we're starting to see the real North Carolina Central. They had as much as a 47-21 lead in this contest by the end of the third quarter. Now, I don't know. It would seem to me at this point, Drew, you probably had more backups or anything in the fourth quarter. East Texas A&M did outscore them 21-3, but I bet you anything if you go back and look at the participation in the box scores, there's probably a lot of backups playing in the fourth quarter, hopefully. But anyway, Central had 457 yards of total offense, and they did give up 510, and 456 of that was in the air by East Texas. Again, you got to go look at the fourth quarter numbers to really get the true measure of this game. Just know when you're up 47-21, I mean, at that point, what's that? Do the math. That's 4 touchdowns. You probably called off the dogs going into the fourth quarter, right? Walker Harris had another good performance, 288 yards passing on 21 completions, 2 touchdowns. He even ran the ball 5 times for 45 yards and a score. Chris Mosley, how many touchdowns did he have against A&T? Like a bunch, 4 or 5, something like that.
I thought it was 6.
6, maybe. I don't know. He had 26 carries, 72 yards and a touchdown, 5 catches for 58 yards. Chauncey Spikes, 6 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. And North Carolina Central goes on a bye next week, and then they're coming to Tallahassee on October 11th. Ooh, Lord Jesus. I'm looking forward to that.
2 things. Second consecutive week, we've seen a MEAC team in a non-conference game have a 3-4 touchdown lead in the fourth quarter,
yes,
or more, and give up a bunch of points. South Carolina State did it last week to Bethune-Cookman, and now Central did it to East Texas A&M. And Bryan, let's give Central some credit. 50 points in consecutive games. That's not easy to do, Bryan.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And if you count the let me see, if you count the wins, I know they put up 30 plus on Southern to open the season. What did they do in their other win? I don't even know who that other win was. I'm trying to remember for Central. But in the 4 wins, I would venture that they're averaging over 30 points a game in their 4 wins. Just a wild guess, right?
49-19 over Fayetteville State.
So, yeah, definitely.
So they've put up 49 or more points in their last 3 games.
Wow. Yeah, and that's coming to Tallahassee off a bye. Jesus. Yikes. Woo. Lord have mercy. All right. Well,
Bryan,
it's 3 weeks away. I'm not thinking about it. 2 weeks away, rather. I'm not thinking about it now.
I know I'm jumping ahead, but will FAMU's only win this season be against a Division II? Don't answer that. You got to broadcast them. Don't answer that. Just want to put it out there. Let's move. Let's take this break and let's move over to the SWAC.
Why would you put that out there? You're a horrible human, Drew. Horrible human being.
I guarantee you, I'm not the only one thinking it.
You aren't. The sad part is, from what I heard,
FAMU loses to Valley next week, we may be talking about FAMU's only win being against the Division II.
Stop it, Drew. Stop it.
I'm a real rattler. I'm gonna keep it real rattler.
I ain't gonna say what type of rattler you are, because I was around. I talked to too many of them last night. So yeah, I'm not even gonna talk to you. All right, let's take a break.
I got one cosign.
Recapping the SWAC. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the SWAC on the other side. As conference play begins in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, 6 games worth talking about, and wow, some of them. The cream rose to the top, and then we had some interesting finishes by some teams that you probably didn't have them pick to win, but they found a way to get a win. Exactly, Troy. See, Drew, them Raptors right there. All right, we'll be back right after these words. Hang tight with us. We'll be back in a moment.
This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN SportsWrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN SportsWrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com. ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Drew, there was a question I think Dim Boyce had asked about that win by North Carolina Central and whether, let me see, here it is. Will the computer see that win by North Carolina Central as a dominant win? And he's referring to our BCSN.
Why you have to go there? We was going to try to sneak through the show without even talking about the computers.
Well, see, I just couldn't pass it up, though. He asked an interesting question. And it was going to lead me to my comment regarding the BCSN top 5 that I know we had planned on sharing with everybody on today's show, but there's going to be a delay in the release of
all
the
the data has not been inputted into the computer.
Yeah. So So most likely, and I know Drew is working, and he's going to make the contacts with Dr. Cavill. Hopefully, we can debut the BCSN top 5 at some point during Doc's show on Tuesday. Fingers crossed. If not, we may just have to do a special, 30-minute show, where we just do it. You know what I'm saying? So I know Doc has a schedule and a script. So if we can't work it in, I have no problem jumping on the air and doing something on Tuesday to get that out. So I'll let you, we'll kind of work behind the scenes and see if we can make that happen. But yeah, I don't know. So what, no comment on that, I guess, Drew?
No comment. Troy, if East Texas A&M is everybody's punching bag, think Lincoln, then did they beat somebody this year, Brian? HBCU wise?
Who, East Texas A&M?
Yes.
No, they're
okay.
They're 0-4. They're
okay.
0-4.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Northwestern State. That's what I'm thinking.
No, what you're thinking about is Northwestern State and Charleston Southern, who ended double-digit losing streaks to HBCUs. That's who you're thinking of. Yeah.
No, it just looks at the final score. So that's going to hurt them. Those playing those 2s and 3s in the fourth quarter going to hurt a couple of teams.
Yeah. And, look, I'll say this. Pollsters, people who are pollsters probably don't watch every game. You just don't have that kind of time in a day. Well, tell me one is better than the other. I don't know, Zach.
Which one of these?
Which one of these is better than the other? I don't know. Let's wait to see how it all washes out in the end. Right now, we can only compare how many times you lose to HBCU, right?
But Brian, at least East Texas A&M is like level.
Correct. At least they are an FCS, an NCAA opponent. That's important. Yeah. This is a good question. Let's wait until we finish the recap. I love this question by Johnny. I wonder who Johnny thinks his QB1 is, but I'm gonna put a star in that. We're gonna come back and ask that question.
Emmett already answered.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue it. I got some thoughts, so, but we'll start and come back to it. All right. Let's talk about the SWAC. Southwestern Athletic Conference, the first weekend of full games on the SWAC. And you had games everywhere from HBCU Go to SWAC TV to ESPN Plus. And just off the scores, Drew, which game is the most shocking to you?
Oh, definitely Alabama A&M Bethune-Cookman.
I'm glad you said
that.
Because I was thinking the same thing. I was really thinking the same thing.
This is the Alabama A&M team that everybody was looking to crown, and a Bethune team who picked up their only previous victory against a Division II. Edward Waters defeats Alabama A&M at home, which brings up some questions, Brian. And I know you're going to quickly go over the game with me, but is Alabama A&M fool's gold? Or is Bethune-Cookman, did they need that get-right game to figure it out? And are we looking at another potential player in the SWAC East?
What was the last part? Another potential player what?
In the SWAC East with Bethune-Cookman.
Ooh, that's a lot, Drew. I'm going to say a bunch of no, and not so fast. Because I don't think I know the instant reaction is after 3 consecutive wins to kind of anoint Alabama A&M, and I know people were ready to throw dirt on the grave of Bethune-Cookman, yours truly included. And I don't know if we have people have been saying for the last couple of years, watch out for Bethune-Cookman, watch out, and then and there was nothing to see. Maybe this is the year, but how about we just stop and appreciate for a second that there are a pair of teams that are now 1-0 in conference play that I'm pretty sure
nobody would have had them on their bingo card in July.
Thank you.
One in the East and one in the
Yes.
West. If we're thinking about the same two teams.
Bingo. And we almost had 3 of them. We were this close to having 3 of them. But yes, definitely Bethune-Cookman is one of those teams that I don't think we necessarily thought was capable of winning this game. They were 7.5-point underdogs. I certainly didn't. And they look, this was an exciting game. And I was trying to reach out to Ty Floyd, who does play-by-play on the Alabama A&M radio network. I wanted to get her take on this game because this is a game in which both teams put up over 475 yards of total offense. Bethune-Cookman outgained Alabama A&M 516 to 481. There were 5 lead changes in this ball game, Drew. 5. And then you had a tie ball game at 34-34 in the fourth quarter before Bethune-Cookman capped off a 6-play, 66-yard drive that ran up about 4 minutes and 44 seconds of possession. Go-ahead touchdown with 1:07 on a 26-yard run by Ali Scott Jr. So just the fact that offensively sounds like an exciting game. It was a little ugly too. Each team racked up a hell of penalties in the ball game. I think I had put this jot. Is this the game where both teams put up double-digit penalties, or was it another game?
It's not on the notes.
Might have been another game. But statistically, the numbers were pretty nice for both teams. You had Cameron Ransom, Bethune-Cookman's quarterback, right? 217 yards passing on 17 completions, 2 touchdowns, did throw 2 interceptions. He had 8 carries for 69 yards as well. Running back Kamani Robinson had 15 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Javon Ross, 5 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown, including a 79-yard play. On the other side, Alabama A&M's quarterback, Eric Hanley. Now, somebody tell me what happened to Cornelius Brown. I didn't know that he didn't play this or wasn't playing this game. I don't know if he got hurt or was hurt previous to.
I think he had a high ankle sprain.
Okay. I was wondering because all the backup quarterback did is come in and go 27 of 40, 355 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and interception. I mean, this is the post-Connell Maynard years, isn't it? I mean, I'm just checking.
But he's no clear glass.
Thank you. I mean, I thought the offense was going to be a little bit different post-Connell Maynard. And it may be obviously a little bit different. But, man, they're putting up numbers like they were back in the Quill Glass, Connell Maynard days. They had 2 different receivers rack up over 100 yards. Frank Pierre had 6 catches for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Travonta Abner, 9 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. 5,630 people showed up in Daytona Beach. That's more than the 3,000 that showed up to the Circle City Classic, Drew. Jordan, Jesus.
Moving on, Brian.
Moving on. Let me see. Did Ja, and shout out to our guy Ja, just Ja Sports on IG for helping us throw together some of these graphics. I'm trying to see, did he make a graphic? No, he didn't. We didn't get a graphic for the UAPB game, but I got to mention that game, Drew, because as you can see in the what was that? The Southern Heritage Classic.
That was
Alcorn,
21,000.
21,000 people, 21,442. Southern Heritage Classic in Memphis. Alcorn still looking for their first win of the season. Would take the L, 24-20. UAPB is 2-2 and 1-0 in conference play, Drew. 1-0 in conference play. I got a trivia question for you, Drew, without looking at the sheet. When was the last time? Well, actually, this is for people in the chat room, and maybe as well. Because I think you've seen the notes. Okay, you haven't. Okay,
I didn't read that far.
Okay, cool. Then don't look at it yet. Okay. When was the last time that UAPB was 1-0 in SWAC conference play?
Oh, I can answer that.
Okay.
Spring 21.
Yeah, spring 2020. Actually, it was 2020.
Oh, 20. Spring 20.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
It was 21. That was spring 21.
No, it was 20. It was 20.
20 was the COVID years. They didn't play until their spring. It was the 2020-21 season.
Oh, okay. So it was spring 21. Okay, you're right. You're right. My bad. Okay. And they did turn around play in the fall of 2021.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, that was the last time that UAPB was 1-0 in SWAC play. Wait a second. What did he say?
No, he made this correction.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah, I know. I'm getting my guy excited. Look, I'm trying to give y'all praise, so slow down here. Just sit back and enjoy this praise I'm about to heap on UAPB, okay? Yes, 4-0. That they went 4-0. Actually, if you recall, they played in the SWAC championship game that year, right? Against
Alabama A&M.
Yeah, correct. Okay. But when was the last time that UAPB actually had a winning SWAC season?
What?
Do you know that?
What was it? Like 13 when they beat Jackson State? Somewhere up in there?
Ooh. Yeah, 2012 actually.
12. Okay, I do it was somewhere around that time.
2012 was the last time UAPB had a winning season. Yes, that was the year that they won the championship in the SWAC. They went 8-1 in conference play, 10-2 overall. They defeated Jackson State 24-21 in the championship.
What about the 19 season, Brian?
The 19 season was, I think that was the year. Did they finish 500? I thought they finished 500 that year. I don't think they finished over 500. I could be wrong. We can check the data. It's right there on the website. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But anyway, I know it's been a while. Let's just say in this new era since the expansion of the SWAC, this is the first 1-0 year for UAPB.
First time above 500.
First time above 500 in the new era of the SWAC.
Same thing for Bethune-Cookman. Same thing for Bethune-Cookman.
Exactly. Yes, congratulations to Bethune-Cookman. And I'm not talking overall record, guys. You guys who are throwing the 20 like that. I'm talking SWAC play. SWAC play. 6-5 would have been. I bet if we go look and see what they did in SWAC play, I think they were 500 in SWAC play, or maybe just below 500 that year.
It had to be 3 and 4 because they only played 7 games back then.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying. They have not had a plus 500 SWAC season since 2012, and this. I was trying to, man, but y'all were jumping all over my trivia. Okay, anyway, I'll keep moving, man. UAPB got a game-winning touchdown drive with 5:59 to play, capping off a 12-play, 79-yard drive, 5 minutes and 55 seconds, a 1-yard run by quarterback Christian Peters. The final drive, Alcorn, they actually ended. They got as far as the UAPB 20, but time expired on them in the fourth quarter. Alcorn just couldn't get right in this contest. I don't think Alcorn had a missed field goal on their opening possession. They also had an interception in the first quarter, and UAPB just wasn't going away.
Right.
Both
This
teams,
is that sloppy game that you was talking about.
yes. Okay. Yes. Both teams had over 475 yards of total offense. UAPB mostly in the air, as Christian Peters was 20 of 32, 323 yards passing and a touchdown. Then he had 8 carries for 30 yards and the 1 game-winning touchdown rush. Alcorn did it on the ground. Actually, it was more of a balanced attack, but most of it was on the ground, as they had 272 rushing yards in total. Most of those came thanks to running back Jacorian Sewell. He had 23 carries, 225 net yards, and 2 touchdowns.
225 yards.
By himself. That's more than some teams' whole running back.
That's more than some teams had this season so far, Florida
So
A&M.
far. See, I'm trying not to go there, but you want to be messy. Look, don't wait. I'm glad our time may not let us get into Division II, Drew, because you get nasty. Both teams, though, on the ugly side, though, double-digit penalties. Alcorn was 12 for 106 on the penalties. UAPB 13 for 108. That was the sloppy game that I was talking about, where you had a lot of offense and a lot of penalties. But congratulations to Coach for UAPB, and just UAPB getting a win, man. 1-0. I mean, that's big. And if I'm not mistaken, they're 2 wins in a row. Didn't they win last week too?
Yeah, it was a D2, Brian.
Come on, Drew. Are we going to do that? We're going to do that. We're going.
If I'm going to say that about Grambling, I'm going to say that about UAPB.
All right. Well, we'd be talking bad about them if they lost. So I'm going to praise.
No, we wouldn't be talking about them at all if they lost.
No, you would be talking. We'd
be talking about all.
If they lost to a Division II, we'd be talking them so bad. We'd be talking about them worse than you know.
Yeah, we would be.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just saying. I mean, give them. They got to win. I mean, winning is hard, Drew. You know that. Okay.
Don't see too many of them.
I thought that would get quiet. Winning is hard. Congrats to UAPB for being 2-2 right now and 1-0. That's right. Good job. Okay. The next game up in the SWAC, we got to talk about the champs, Drew. I know a lot of people want to go to everybody else, but man, we got to give praise and credit to the champs, because I said in the morning on Saturday, right, on the SWAC TV Game Time show, I wanted to see the champs look like the champs, right? I wanted to see them look like the champs, and they did. They were trailing 13-7 in the second quarter after Southern's Trey Holly broke off a 73-yard touchdown run. I mean, the anti-Jackson State crowd was excited. Or what I'm gonna call, maybe I can't say that's the same as the Southern crowd, because there's 2 different crowds, right? There's the anti-Jackson State crowd, and then there's the Southern crowd.
Pro-Southern.
So both were excited at that point in the game, I'm sure, right? But that didn't last long. Man, because Jackson State opened up the can. They opened up the can. They were a 14.5-point underdog or favorite, Jackson State was, and I wasn't worried one bit, because the champs showed up. And after that, they went on a 31-0 run, 4 touchdowns and a field goal over the course of the next 2.5 quarters. They put up some 534 yards of total offense compared to Southern's 300. I mean, think about that. Outgained them 234. Ugh. Nasty work, you know. Jackson State is back. I guess we can go ahead and say that, right? Jacobian Morgan, 2 touchdown passes. He was 21 of 31, 337, 2 touchdowns. He looked like he's back. The running game was tight. They had Ahmad Miller, 101 on 14 carries. Travis Terrell, 51 yards and a score. Denario Davenport, 2 touchdowns. The receivers, they had three receivers with 90+ yards receiving. I'm jealous, Drew. just looking good on all aspects, man. I tell you, boom box beatdown. That should have been the headline. If the front page of the Jackson Clarion Ledger didn't say boom box beatdown, they missed out on a headline opportunity.
Boombox BTA.
Yes, that's what it was. In front of 27,487 on the Bluff at that.
Attendance leader?
Home attendance leader, true home game, yeah.
I'm talking about for the week.
True home
for the week.
For the week. Well, for the season. For the season, not just a week, the season. No, it wasn't for the weekend because there was a bigger attendance number this weekend. We'll get to that in a minute.
But that was a neutral site. That was
neutral site. Edwin says, "Ooh, out, Steve, boy, you got jokes. You got that hurt." But he ain't lying. Well, they say you can fit 8 times the crowd at the Circle City Classic into this. That's beautiful. Edwin said,
let's think about it like this. You could double the Jackson State Southern crowd and put it in Lucas Oil.
You could. Edwin, I want you to honestly give me 2 or 3 takeaways. What are you going to tell me that I can't glean from the numbers? Are you going to tell me that Southern fought hard, that their offense? I mean, what was it, Edwin? What is your big, huge takeaway from this game? I mean, come on now. I'm just curious. Watch the game. It's bad enough. I gotta, I've seen Southern against Alabama State, and I've seen Southern against Jackson State. And it wasn't pretty either time.
Hey, it's bad enough you got to watch FAMU right now, Edwin. Don't make them watch something
and
else.
I watched them. Hold on. Think about this. Think about who Southern has had to play this year, Drew. They've had to play North Carolina Central, got bludgeoned. Had to play Alabama State, got bludgeoned. Had to play Jackson State, got bludgeoned. Again, I don't know who's got it worse right now. Southern's schedule has definitely been harder than Florida A&M's.
So,
but I'm telling you, both. I don't know
so
who's
Bryan,
had it worse.
When those two teams face each other later on this year, whose get right game will it be? You don't have to answer that right now. Let's move on.
I'm not going to answer. Thank you. Don't get me in trouble. Don't make me answer that question.
I just put it out there for comment. Y'all can answer that in the chat room though. Whose get right game will it be when FAMU and Southern play?
That's a great question. Great question. I mentioned a little earlier that we almost had 3 unexpected games or teams to go 1-0 to start the season.
So it wasn't Grambling, it wasn't FAMU, so that must mean you're talking about Valley.
Valley? We talking about Valley? Valley? Yeah, we talking about Valley. Because, boy, you had them, Valley. You had them, but you let them off the hook. So I don't know if you call this Valley letting them off the hook, or how about we take the positive side of this for once in a lifetime, Drew? How about Texas Southern, who gave up a win in the final play against Prairie View at the beginning of the season, but actually finding a way to get a win in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, trailing to Mississippi Valley State on the road, scoring a game-winning drive with 1:18, right? Valley had the lead at the end of the first quarter, 10-0, had a halftime lead. They were up 20-7 in the third quarter. And Texas Southern would close out with a 9-0 fourth quarter. Actually, they closed out 17 consecutive points, 16, something like that, if my math is right, to close the game out with 2 touchdowns and a safety, outscored the Delta Devils 9-0. These two teams, and looking at the history, they haven't played a whole heck of a lot over really not since the expansion. And really, I think the last time that Texas Southern beat Mississippi Valley State was 2018. Mississippi Valley State outgained Texas Southern 436 to 290. How many times are you going to hear me? What I tell you about Delaware State in the first half? What was that number, Drew? 345 and a half?
Yes.
How many games have we just gone through where somebody's offense didn't hit 300 in a game?
Hey, Brian, how about Josh Brown? 252 in the air, 91 on the ground. That's a total of 343 by himself.
By himself. He outgained Texas Southern by himself. Ooh.
Except for he didn't gain the one thing he needed to gain, Brian.
Yeah.
That being the dub.
It's everything but the dub.
Everything but the dub.
I will say this: the attendance 3,826. Go ahead and let the jokes fly.
Brian, this is what you need. This is what you need to look at. And will FAMU Valley? What would the attendance be in Atlanta? We know what the Mendoza line is in Circle City. Does this game even draw 10,000 now?
Ooh, man.
Does FAMU Valley draw 10,000?
Okay. So 2 over-under questions for you. Does the game draw over 10,000? A. B, is this game now a pick'em versus somebody actually being a favorite by 3 points?
Oh, is it? I guarantee you it's less than 3. It'll be less than 3.
2.5. What would you set the line at? If I were setting the line at this game, I might just go ahead and put it at a pick'em, Drew. I might really just call it a pick'em. I mean, it's a neutral site game against 2 1-4 ball clubs who are 0-1. Well, not both of them are 1-3 versus 1-4. Both teams are 0-1 in conference play. And if I were to go look at offensive points per game, I have a feeling they're probably very similar.
And probably 11 and 12.
I
think Valley is actually outscoring FAMU this season.
So again, I'm not sure I can honestly, in good faith, call this any more than a pick'em game. I mean, I'm just, I'm gonna be curious to see what the line looks like on Friday.
All right, my bad, I'm wrong. Florida A&M 8th in the conference, averaging 17.5 points. Mississippi Valley 11th in the conference, averaging 11.7 points. You know who's number 12, Ryan?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
Valley is 11th in the conference, averaging 11.7 points.
Right.
You know who's number 12?
Is it Texas Southern?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Ooh. Yikes.
The team they just beat.
They
just beat them.
So that means 23 was probably their season high. That was probably Texas Southern's season high right there.
The average is 10.3 per game.
Who is?
Texas Southern.
They're allowed. Wait a minute. Say that again.
They're averaging 10.3 per game on offense.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Just for comparison, Brian, defensively, Florida A&M is 6th at 33.3 points per game. Valley is pulling up the rear, number 12, 49.7 points per game.
Let me see.
We can not too much to say about the rest of these games, Brian. PV did what we expected PV to do in the State Fair, in the 100th State Fair Classic. And we'll save your analysis for Florida A&M and Alabama State. It is now officially a rivalry, Brian, with Alabama State getting the win. But we'll say that for tomorrow night's O&G Strike Zone recap.
All right. I will say it's the 7th win in the last 8 meetings for Prairie. I call that a Mike Washington data point. And if anybody knows, they know. If you were watching the pregame show, Mike Washington data point. Prairie View has won 7 of the last 8 State Fair Classic. They outgained Grambling 342-266. Never trailed in the ball game. But the attendance though, 56,210. Woo! Man, I didn't even know we were still showing up to events like that. So congratulations.
Well, we got 2 others to see if it's going to top it.
Yeah, that's the first, and the State Fair has historically done that. I mean, this is the first over 50. This is the first over 50.
So Magic City, you're on the clock.
Magic City is the next big one on the clock. Yes, indeed.
And we'll wrap it up with the OBC. That's OBC, the Florida Classic.
Yeah. Steve said Bullard sealed the rivalry. Come on, don't give him that kind of credit, Steve. Look, I told you, I will save that. I told you that one. So I will say this.
I was saying we got you, Johnny. We're gonna save it.
Yeah, we're gonna come to that here in a minute. Do you want to take a quick break and then come back and talk about the SIAC and CIAA?
Yeah, and then we get into these quarterbacks and wrap this show and pick up the show and get out of here.
Gotcha. All right. We'll come back right on the other side. Hang tight with us. We appreciate all.
I'm sorry, Steve. You're absolutely right. Forgot all about the Bayou on the clock.
Oh yeah. So at this point, the question is, who will surpass the 56,000 mark set by the State Fair? Will it be the Bayou? Will it be the Magic City? Or will it be the Florida? I don't know about the Florida Classic this year. I'm
not with FAMU one and forever.
Yeah, I'm reserving that one for not right now. But
FAMU might be Florida Classic might be looking like Circle City in a minute.
Stop it.
Let's go to break before I get in trouble.
Yeah,
before I get canceled. You're throwing.
Yeah, but you just keep throwing like one-liners right now. You know they're gonna come for you, boy. Drew, they're gonna come for you. Rattler Nation, they know where to find you. All right, we'll be back right after these words. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black
in Atlanta at the house.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
Welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Good to be back on with you tonight. All right, let's. We don't want to forget about the CIAA and the SIAC. So let's kind of run down. Let's run through the SIAC, the conference where Drew makes his where his bread is buttered, so to speak. And you know, just 1 week ago, after Allen's dominating performance over who was it, Clark? You know, I think all eyes were focused on the game at Albany, Georgia. Albany State hosted Allen University. I think for good reason, right? It's fair to say that that's a game that kind of had our eyes and our ears perked up to kind of see, okay, how real is Allen University? How real is Albany State? Final score, Albany State 57, Allen 14. Home opener for Albany State, Drew. What if any can we take away from this beating that Albany State put on Allen here?
Albany State looks to be as good as we thought they were. B, Allen is not ready for the big time yet.
Yeah, it's fair to say.
Yeah.
They jumped on them early.
Yeah. Albany State 5 of 7 in the red zone against Allen.
Oof.
How about another stat, Brian? How about Allen with 0 sacks on the day?
Man, it's hard to get that dude down. Isaiah Knowles, it's hard to get him down.
I got one more, Brian. How about the fact that Albany State did not punt the ball all day?
That part right there. That might be the most impressive stat of all of them that you just
let me rephrase that. They did punt the ball one time, but it was down.
Oh, okay. So they did have one punt.
Yes.
All right. I mean, pretty efficient day. I think when you start the game and you score touchdowns on 4 of your first 5 possessions, all in the first quarter. Damn. If I'm reading the drive charts right, that's impressive. That's impressive. Good win for Coach Gray and Albany State, but don't count Allen out too fast. You know, don't write him off just yet. I think the team that we really, you know, and we didn't know if it was just that they had a stingy defense, and then they started putting points on the board. How about Benedict? Benedict beat Clark Atlanta on the road, went up to the A, 59-24, in a game in which Benedict scored 4 special teams and defensive touchdowns. They opened the game with a kickoff return score, and then they would have, I believe, 2 fumble recovery touchdowns and an interception, pick 6. And 59-24. I mean, just defensive special teams alone outscored Clark. How about that?
Bryan, and I'm looking at this stat. Clark Atlanta, 7 fumbles, 3 of them were lost.
Ooh. Yeah, two of the 3 lost turned into touchdowns.
Yes, along with the INT. Benedict, 0 turnovers on the day.
That's
0.
That's how you win ball games.
Turnovers on the day. Benedict doubled Clark Atlanta on the ground, 170-79.
Benedict is the last overall unbeaten team in the SIAC. And they sit along with Edward Waters and Albany State as unbeaten in conference games. Who had Benedict and Edward Waters being 3-0 in conference play at the beginning of the season? Raise your hand, please.
Bryan, circle October 25th.
Noted.
Albany State travels to Benedict.
Gotcha. October 25th. Is that October? I mean, that's a month away. Jesus, a lot can happen.
A month away. Now, Benedict, should they get to the SIAC championship game, they will have earned it.
He got a brutal schedule.
Crosstown rival Allen coming up next week.
Yeah.
Fort Valley the week after that. Both of those are at home.
Yep.
They travel to Jacksonville to face Edward Waters. They're home against Albany State. VUL. Just chalk that one up for a dub. Before they end the season at Savannah State. So they wound up with 6 games in Charlie W. Johnson Stadium this season.
And while I make mention and make light of just the fact that Benedict and Edward Waters at the top of the table, how about 3 of the top 4 teams you probably definitely didn't have at the top of the table? Is Kentucky State sits there with the best record among the 1-loss conference teams because they're 3-1 in conference play.
With the lone loss being the Albany State.
Right. So Kentucky State is halfway through their conference schedule, right? I mean, they're 3-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play. I mean, halfway through they're only playing 8 games in conference, and they're halfway there. So, you had a tough game down there in Jacksonville as Edward Waters got a 27-24 win over Morehouse. Care to talk about how close that game was?
What's been the phrase of the day? We did what? We let them off the hook.
We let them off the hook. Yeah.
Let them off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
So, big thing with that, Edward Waters scored on their first possession, scored a touchdown on their first possession. Morehouse fumbled the ball on its opening possession. Edward Waters was able to go down and jump up quickly 14-0 before Morehouse was able to put points up on the board. Morehouse with a very good second half against the Edward Waters Tigers. But when it truly mattered, that dude, Noah Biden, was able to come through through a touchdown pass on a 3rd and goal from the 26-yard line, Bryan, to put Edward Waters up 1 play after the 2-minute timeout in the 4th quarter. Morehouse was unable to come down And although they did cross midfield, got the ball as close as the 30-yard line, they were unable to get it close enough to be able to get a game time field goal.
Yeah, you had them, but you let them off the hook. So tough game.
Yeah.
Other scores, real quick: Kentucky State 27-20 over Savannah State. Fort Valley State 27-20.
You said 27.
I'm sorry, 37-20. Thank you.
Yes.
Fort Valley 27, Tuskegee 20. That's a tough one. Already mentioned the fact that Miles lost 17-14 to Morgan. Central State 42, Lane 13.
And that was in Rochester, New York.
Rochester, interesting location for that. What was that, a classic?
Yes.
Okay. What was the attendance for that?
The name of it. Let's hit the box score and see. $62,34.
6,234.
Yes.
Twice as many as the Circle City Classic. Jesus.
Yes. Wow. On a beautiful 74-degree day.
Man. My heart hurts. All right. Next weekend in the SIAC, the big matchup, I think, traditionally, it's been you tell me how this is worded.
Alphabetical.
Okay, so it's the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic.
Yes.
Which is one of the longest running rivalries, matchups, classics.
Incorrect.
I'm sorry?
The longest. Not one of. It is the longest.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you. It's neutral site. Neutral site game, Montgomery, Alabama, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. Two teams looking for wins. That's all I'm gonna say. Two teams looking for wins. What's historically that crowd been like? 30,000, 20, 30?
It's because it's in its fourth location in like the last 6 years. First time in Montgomery. It's a TBD on this one, to be determined. The one drawback to this one, it is also Alabama State's homecoming in Montgomery. Did you just get the same text I did?
No, I got caught looking at something else. What did you get?
I'll tell you about it off air.
Oh, okay. Was it in the chat group or a text?
It was an individual text.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't get that. No, sorry. Okay, but outside of the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic at night, I think the other big game is in Columbia, South Carolina. Allen traveling down the street over to Benedict. How far? You know what? We were talking about this earlier. What's the distance between Allen and Benedict? Is it 5 miles or less than?
Between Allen and Benedict?
Yeah.
Walk across a red light.
Is it really? I thought it was a little more distance than that.
No.
Okay. See, I was talking to, I think I was Keith. I know Keith is watching Fangs Up podcast. There's your answer. Across the street.
Literally.
I really felt like it was longer.
It's like a 4 or 6 lane street, but that's it.
Okay. Well, I hope for a good crowd. That should be interesting. Allen University, Benedict, I think you should have a good game. The other matchups, of course, next week you got Central State traveling to Fort Valley State. Savannah State travels to play up against South Carolina State in Orangeburg. Kentucky State at Miles. Man, can it get any worse for Miles? They still are looking for their first win, and here comes Kentucky State, 3-1 in conference play. And then Albany State traveling north to Jackson, Tennessee to take on Lane.
Poor Lane.
That's going to be a beating. That might be a beating.
BTA.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Watch out, Lane. Dragon Slayers. That's what's coming. All right, let's hop over to the CIAA. And just 1 week after Virginia State got an impressive road win against Winston-Salem State, you know, it's hard winning ball games, Drew, and then it's hard winning consecutive road games.
It's hard winning games when they count if you're the Trojans.
Yeah.
Because this game counted in CIAA.
Yeah. Is this one of those games that counted for one team and didn't count for the other?
No, it counted for both teams this time.
Okay.
Last week did not count for Virginia State.
Oh, man.
But did count for Winston-Salem.
How brutal is that? Well, they took one on the chin as they traveled to Fayetteville State, lost 34-14. And I think we talked about whether this would be a game that Fayetteville State, you know, we weren't really sure what Fayetteville State had, and they kind of needed a win. Fayetteville State, don't look now, they're 2-0 in conference games, you know. Even though they're 2-3 overall, you know, they took care of the game that they needed to take care of in conference play. So got a big win there. Winston-Salem State rebounded, and they beat Bowie State 28-21. Congratulations there to the Rams. I'm just trying to see if I can pull up the schedule here, pull up any box scores on that game. That was on the road at Bowie. I had a feeling, I don't know if Steve is still in the chat, how often, when's the last time Winston-Salem State went up to Bowie and got a win? I have a feeling it's been a while. I think it's been a while. Yeah. Dalen Lee, 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 touchdowns, 18 of 29 passing, 190 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. Just efficient.
You said Winston-Salem at Bowie?
Yeah.
They've got some
2012, maybe. You know, because that was back in the day when they had the North-South, and you didn't often play everybody in the other division. So I can see there being some years in between.
Let's see.
And when I go and look at the Rams are still in the hunt, you know. So did this one not count because the standings on the CIAA site still have Winston-Salem State at 0-1? So maybe is this one that didn't count? Is this one of those games that did not count for Winston-Salem State?
2018, Brian.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you and Steve at the same time. Okay, the standings are all jacked up. CIAA, come on now. They've got Livingstone with 3 conference wins, even though they only got 2. All right, so Winston-Salem State 1-1 in conference play. Okay, good stuff.
2012, yes, 2012, not 2018, 2012.
What about the Amir Hall touchdown pass in 2018?
They won. Bowie won on that one.
Oh, you're talking about the last win by Winston-Salem State.
Winston State in 2012, 35-3. In Bowie, Maryland.
Okay. I knew it felt like it'd been a long time. Livingstone with a 31-7 lead over Lincoln, PA. Don't look now, but the Blue Bears are sitting atop the conference standings, or at least tied for the lead in first place. I tell you, the last 2 seasons, the resurgence of Livingstone. What a story.
I did something that I have never done before this week, Brian. I put Livingstone in my top 10.
Really?
Yes.
How many teams from the CIAA did you put in the top 10? I'm sure.
Johnson C, definitely. Union, definitely. Winston-Salem, yes. I think I had 5 in the top 10. 5 of my top 10. Virginia State and Livingstone.
Okay. And curious, who's number one? Number one still. Well, who is your number one? Hold on. Save it.
No. I'll tell you who I had number one last week. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for.
Oh, has it changed?
It maybe not.
Okay, tell me who was last week.
I had Albany State number one last week in my personal.
Okay. And this is the one you're submitting, correct?
This one I submitted last week.
Okay.
I've already submitted this week's, but we have to wait for the results to see where I'm at.
Okay. I got you. A pair of BTAs took place there between Virginia Union and Shaw, 59-7. That was in Raleigh. Brutal. And then Johnson C. Smith with a 69-13 beating of Bluefield State in Charlotte. Let me see. Total yards.
Virginia Union ran for 474, according to Steve. Just for reference, Brian, and I know you tired of me beating up on the Rattlers. Rattlers just north of 500 on the season.
A total of 611 total yards by Virginia Union. Total yards. Curtis Allen with a 200-plus yard day, 216 and 2 touchdowns. Somebody do the stat. Here's a great stat for CIAA folk. How many 200-yard rushing games has Virginia Union had in the now Curtis Allen / Jada Byers era?
Probably a dozen or so.
I'm talking 200 by one player, 200-yard game. There's a great stat. And so we're talking over the last now 4 seasons.
Probably
I bet you it is probably more than any team in HBCU football. I mean, it's a great stat to go look up if somebody. Allen had 676, 10 touchdowns in 4 games. Now add 216 to that.
Or does that include the 216?
Well, you know what? Hold on. Does it? Who knows? You know what? Because CIAA Division II folks are on this awkward schedule. That's 4 games. See, I'm on week 5. So anyway,
and they had a bye also. Virginia Union.
They had a bye. That's right, because I remember Union played in week 0. That's what led me, or what they call week 0. I call week 1, but anyway. And then the other game, Johnson C. Smith. I'm gonna just pull up real quick the stat board. It was the third quarter. I mean, look, every quarter they outscored Bluefield, but they put 27-0 on them in the third quarter. Johnson C. Smith had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Let me see what the total yards in this contest was. Total yards. Oh, whoa, only 549, Drew.
Well, when you get a 100-yard kickoff return, that doesn't go into your offensive total.
It does not. Kelvin Durham, 18 of 22, 297 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. It'd be interesting to see who comes up with Offensive Player of the Year. Or Offensive Player of the Week. I'm sorry, not year. It's a lot of stat pad games. You got Curtis Allen doing what he did. You got Dalen from Winston-Salem, Kelvin Durham. Be interesting to see what you voters are. Who are the voters again for the Players of the Week? Is it you and your fellow SIDs, Drew?
Every conference does it different.
How? Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, I'm talking. This is
some conference have a committee. Some conference let everybody vote.
Gotcha.
Oh, there you go.
What's that? Oh my God. There's no Offensive Player of the Week. It's my position. Jesus. All right. Well, everybody gets an award then. So everybody gets an award. That's got to be terribly difficult. That means you got to vote for 7 different people. You talk about, don't these SIDs have something to do? I know that's got to be exciting for them to say, I got to spend time voting on 7 different positions. Not part of the job, right, Drew? Part of the job. Okay.
Part of the job requirements.
I won't poo-poo it.
No, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
You have to nominate for 7 different positions. That's
What?
tougher than voting.
Okay. So the standings right now: Livingstone 2-0 in conference play, Fayetteville State 2-0 in conference play, Virginia Union 1-0 in conference play. And then you got some 1-1 teams: Johnson C. Smith 1-1, Shaw 1-1, Winston-Salem State 1-1. I don't even know if it's accurate. Check back on the CIAA website tomorrow. Maybe it'll be all updated properly. Right now, it's a little bit off.
But check out these games next week, Brian. I know this is not off.
What do we got?
Shaw at Bluefield, Fayetteville at Bowie. That one's going to be interesting. How about Livingstone at Elizabeth City? But here are your 2 sexy matchups, Brian. Virginia Union at Winston-Salem.
Ooh.
And Johnson C. at Virginia State.
Oh, wow. And the start times are brutal. 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh,
that's a multiple device day if you're a CIAA fan.
See, if the CIAA were really paying attention or cared about scheduling, one of these games would start at 3 and the other game would start at 6. Let the other games start at 1. Let those other 3 games start at 1. But your marquee games, let them start at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And then the other one, 6 o'clock, 7. I don't know. Maybe Virginia State doesn't have lights, but I thought they had lights. Maybe Winston-Salem State, they rent.
They got a NASCAR track. I'm pretty sure.
Right. They rent that field though, so maybe they can't be there past a certain time. I don't know, but I'm just saying. There's got to be some room, even with your TV partnerships. Or hey, you got the CIAA Sports Network.
They are independent.
Exactly. You got your own network, but your 2 key games should not be scheduled at the same time as Shaw and Bluefield State. Let them 2 teams play, and if you watch, you watch, and if you don't, you catch the score on the interwebs. And Livingstone will try not to lay an egg on the road to Elizabeth City State. Fayetteville State at Bowie should be interesting. See, that's your feature game at 1 o'clock. That's your 1 o'clock feature game, Fayetteville State at Bowie. Then you start in with the 3:30, 4 o'clock game, Virginia Union at Winston-Salem State. And then you come to the night game, Johnson C. at Virginia Union. See? Come on. Commissioner McWilliams, I'm here to help. And then get somebody, Commissioner McWilliams, can we get somebody to update the CIAA's Twitter? Or did the CIAA, forget Twitter and move to Blue Sky? Just let us know. I'm worried about what happened to the CIAA's Twitter presence.
Hey, Brian. It was probably on somebody's email who no longer works there. Let's move on and talk about these quarterbacks, Brian.
Nasty work, Drew. Nasty work. All right. Top 5 FCS QB1s, courtesy of our guy, Johnny Thornton, for the suggestion. Appreciate the tip there, Johnny. When he asked the question. As of today, who is HBCU's QB1? Now, knowing Johnny, he's probably I don't know, Drew. So there's 2 ways we could go with this. Do we want to talk overall, all HBCUs? Or should this be broken up by division?
Let's go. Let's stay with the big boys.
So we're talking big boys, huh?
Yes.
All right. So we're talking FCS here.
Are we talking statistics, Ryan, Or are we talking eye test?
Well, at some point, don't you have to consider statistics?
Oh, you have to consider statistics. But
I mean, put it like this: when you have statistics, you have to look at statistics and then extrapolate meaningful performances, right? I think.
Yeah.
So I think in the MEAC,
and the reason
go ahead.
I was gonna say the reason I say that, because if you're just talking about average yards per game, Brian, Cornelius Brown at Alabama A&M is averaging more passing yards per game. But if you just talk about quarterback efficiency in the SWAC, Andrew Body, hands down, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would. Okay, so I would go. There's 4 names that I would put into the instant conversation, right? And 2 from the MEAC and 2 from the SWAC.
I'm listening.
And I think in the MEAC, the 2 names are Harris Walker.
Walker Harris.
Walker Harris, excuse me, as I'm looking at the website. And I'm getting old because I feel like I got to zoom in like to 300% just to be able to read this damn stuff. But Walker Harris, and then Caden Bennett of Delaware State. I'm, I don't think anybody else really is significantly worthy of. No, I can't even throw. I can't. If I had to throw an honorable mention, I'd say Tariq Starks, but of Howard, but he's not right now performing at a level that I think equals what we've seen from Walker Harris and Caden Bennett.
And Caden Bennett, because of the dual threat that he proposed.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Walker Harris, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,500 yards passing, 252 per game, 145 efficiency, right? And the key part about Bennett, and while Bennett's passing, he's passing 158.5 per game. If I go and look at Bennett's rushing, he's averaging 70.5 per game on the ground, which is 4th best in the conference, right? So if I took the 70 on the ground, add it to the 158, I mean, what are we talking? Close to 225, right? So, yeah. 4 interceptions. Yes, Harris has 4 interceptions. That's what the stats say. I don't know. Edwin's got a question mark. Look, if you doubt it, I'm just going off the stats. I'm just going off what I'm seeing on the MEAC site. And then over in the SWAC, the 2 names that stand out, one, Andrew Body, because I think we've all seen and know the performance by Body. 12 touchdowns, no interceptions passing, 216 passing per game, a 205.3 efficiency numbers. Now, somebody go look up what the NCAA record or stats are right now on passing efficiency. I'm curious where Body is nationally in passing efficiency, right? I'm just kind of curious. And then when you go over to rushing, let's see, average per game, Body is 10th best in the SWAC. I want to just kind of look. Yeah, best quarterback rushing numbers in the SWAC, averaging 58.8, right? And then, obviously, you mentioned Cornelius Brown. Yeah, I mean, in 3 games that he's played, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 239 per game, averages 64% completion percentage. Body is a 69, almost 70% completion percentage passer. You know.
Yeah.
And then I think the guy who's going to be now, his early numbers weren't great, but I got a feeling his numbers are about to start shooting up, is Jacoby Morgan. I think Morgan's numbers are about to start rising to the point where he's going to be, you know, obviously the big matchup, Alabama State versus Jackson State, will be the separator for those two in terms of people's opinions for Offensive Player of the Year or Quarterback One of the Year. But those are my four, Drew, or those are my four with honorable mention to Tariq and Jacoby Morgan. So I guess those are my 4 plus 2.
Let's quickly look at it on the Division II level, Brian. We'll start in the CIAA. While Kelvin Durham is the sexy pick, and he's a 162.1 passing efficiency rating, averaging 238.2 yards per game. How about Dalen Lee of Winston-Salem State in the CIAA? 167 efficiency rating, 229.2 passing yards average per game. Leads the CIAA in touchdown passes with 14, Brian, and passing at a 62% clip. Only has 2 picks compared to 4 for Kelvin Durham. So they're your nominees in the CIAA. And when you go to the SIAC, Brian, you know, we talk about Isaiah Knowles, who's at a 149.5 efficiency rating. A couple other names: Darius Ocean, 157.3. Let me step back. Isaiah Knowles has 9 touchdown passes on this season. He's tied with Noah Bodden of Edward Waters with a number of touchdown passes. Let's see. Knowles is at a 62.4% clip, while Bodden is at a 58.4% clip. Jameer Dismukes from Allen is passing at 73%, Brian. 73%. He's completed 100 passes in 137 attempts, Brian. He leads the conference in completions, Brian. Leads the conference in completions. One other one that you may want to consider, although his completion percentage is not as good, Zy McDonald, who's been injured recently. Don't know how well he played in this past game, but he's got a 146.4% efficiency rating. So there's some of your numbers out of the SIAC, Brian.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Maybe next week we'll kind of mention some of the top rushers and get into some of the numbers for the top rushers next week. Johnny asked an interesting question. Why does it matter to SWAC what Circle City Classic attendance is? I don't know what Johnny might be referring to.
I think when I made that comparison of doubling the Southern crowd and putting it in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. He was just commenting. Okay.
Yeah.
And see, I guess right. I guess Walker Harris would be his quarterback one. See, how did I know? Look, there's no shade. Johnny asked the question, even though he knew the answer for himself. Yeah. So, all right, Drew, let's go to the, if I can, I'm going to go over to the Pick 5 contest. Take a look at some of the instant results, the BCSN SportsWrap Pick 5 contest. How about Dave? Still sitting through 5 weeks unbeaten. 25-0. I don't know how long this streak can last. This guy continues to pick the improbable, impossible games. I don't know. It's getting to the point where I don't think they're going to be so easy here. I heard from many people that they were tougher this past week.
We're getting into conference play. It's going to be tougher now.
I would hope so. I would hope so. I mean, Jesus, man, he's starting to run away with this. But quite a few people went 5-0. SB THAP, SB that Flicks, Kelly Flicks went 5-0. Timona, she loves the podcast, went unbeaten. I'm assuming she either stayed away from the FAMU Bama State game or she picked. Knowing her, she probably picked Bama State. I knowing her. So they all went unbeaten. As you can see, if you scroll down, I went 3-2. As mentioned, thank you again to Howard. Thank you, South Carolina State. First off, you sweet devils, dogs, you. But there you go. All right. So for this week, we get into a new week number 6. And these are the matchups that people have opportunities to pick. Delaware State at Monmouth, Morgan State at Georgetown. It's a local matchup. Bethune-Cookman traveling to Alabama State. Tennessee State in a conference, an OVC conference matchup against Eastern Illinois. North Carolina A&T went up to Maine, lost 37-30. Now they're taking on William & Mary. Battle of the Bay. Yeah, Battle of the Bay. Norfolk State at Hampton. Oof.
That's the dog game.
Yeah, that's a good one. Prairie View at Alcorn. And Jackson State at Alabama A&M. Also, FAMU at Valley. UAPB at Texas Southern. Neutral site game, correct. Neutral site game. That was originally Valley's home game, so now it's a neutral site. UAPB at Texas Southern. 2 teams who got to win. UAPB 1-0 in conference play. Oof. Any suggestions for me on this one, Drew?
I'm just going to give you the stay away from.
Yeah, I like that. Start there.
Stay away from FAMU Valley.
Okay.
Let me look at it. Stay away from Hampton and Norfolk. Those are my 2 stay away from games.
Really? Okay. I would also include, I'm also staying away from Jackson State, Alabama A&M. I think that's a stay away. I don't know, man. I mean, at some point, you got to pick a winner here. These are tough games.
Yeah, there's no more gimmies.
No more gimmies, man. I feel confident about State. I like what I've seen from Alabama State, and they're going home. That's a. I'm picking them. That's a gimme. Monmouth is a good squad. I'm not touching Monmouth versus Delaware State. Not touching that one. And I'm not sure Morgan State can beat an FCS opponent. I mean, they haven't yet.
Yeah, I believe Monmouth is like 3-1 or 4-1 coming into this game against Delaware State.
Yeah. I gotta pick Prairie View. Alcorn can't seem to get wins right now. I gotta pick the team that knows how to win right now. I'm actually picking Prairie View. Man, you telling me to stay away from FAM and Valley, but you make sense though. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Texas Southern is so. Woo, this is hard, Drew. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do here.
Texas Southern at home. Yes. Just thinking about it.
I'm gonna have to come back and fill these offline because I'm gonna have to do some research. But these, so far, those are the 2 that I like just off first glance. Alabama State at home, Prairie View on the road.
It's homecoming for Alabama State.
I don't think that really matters, but I think they're just playing well right now. I mean, they're going to be. I do think Bethune-Cookman has a better flowing offense right now than FAMU, so that should probably yield a more exciting game to watch if Bethune continues to play offense the way they played the last 2 weeks. The A&T, William and Mary, if I was just on GP, I would pick William and Mary. I just don't think, look, I mean, just on GP, I would have to pick William and Mary. I got to do some research on the Georgetown Morgan State game and the Eastern Illinois Tennessee State game. You saying stay away from the Battle of the Bay, you're probably right there, because this is not the Hampton team that another reason why you guys ought to tune in to Wednesday's Indy Report. The guys who cover Hampton, Dave who covers A&T,
Brandon
who covers Tennessee State. They really provide some great intel on those teams. I wish I would have listened to them, but if I would have done a better job of listening to them combined with Erica, I probably would have picked Howard in the Battle of the Real HU. I let my ego and personal feelings in that game cloud my decision. I should have listened. I should have took in some special commentary from people who really follow those teams, and I would have no way in heck would I have picked who I picked had I really been paying attention. So those are three. I got to find two more over the course of the next couple of days. So, but yeah, there's that. All right, Drew. Homecoming season is coming up. Are you ready?
Yeah, I got to see how many dates I'm going on over the next month from the house.
Okay. When is Morehouse's homecoming?
Same day as FAMU's, the 18th.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Anything we left off that you wanted to make a quick mention of before we close up the show?
West Virginia State 3-1 on the season. We've won 3 consecutive games. The forgotten HBCU.
West Virginia State. Okay, we're gonna have to start. Are we getting to that point of the season where their record is gonna say, "Hey, we need to start counting them into some of these polls and rankings"?
We'll see what the computers say.
Okay. Any updates on what Langston? I know Langston and Texas Southern they played this is either last weekend or this upcoming weekend. Because I think both were coming off of a bye, and neither one's having a great season thus far. In the
you mean Florida Memorial?
No. Langston and Texas College.
Oh, Texas College. You said Texas Southern. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
None of our NAIAs are doing good this year.
Okay, Florida Memorial as well, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, didn't
Lincoln of Missouri has returned to Lincoln of Missouri. They have lost 2 consecutive.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, next week we're gonna have to cover it. Barbara Scotia is playing football now, Brian. We're going to have to check in on them next week.
Wait a minute. Say what?
Barbara Scotia.
They're playing football?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, something to look forward to. Yeah. All right, Drew. Well, I'm up in the Atlanta area this upcoming weekend. FAMU taking on Mississippi Valley State in the Georgia Football Classic. We'll look to see if the attendance is more than 10,000.
Well, I wish I would be able to join you over there, and I probably won't catch you while you're in town because I will be in Montgomery, Alabama, as Morehouse takes on Tuskegee in the Morehouse-Tuskegee Classic.
All right, good stuff. Well, that's where we will be. So we'll look for you in Montgomery and Atlanta appropriately. In the meantime, in between time, please make sure that you tune in to all of the shows that are part of the Black College Sports Network over the course of the week. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up and like buttons. Make sure you're joined and subscribed to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages, so that way you can stay abreast. And, of course, follow the BCSN Pod Zone on your favorite podcast platforms. Download, subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe. Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and of course on Spotify.
Oh,
VUL has 2 wins. What?
We're gonna have to do some. We're gonna have to do some checking on that.
Are they a potential threat to some people who are inviting them to their homecomings this upcoming month?
We shall see.
Man, all right. Homecoming season is about to start, folks. Hey, let's all be safe in the month of October, and let's look out for our HBCUs, and let's continue to show a little more kindness to one another in all the things that we say and do. Sometimes these jokes, they just sit differently these days. So be careful what and who. Yeah, be careful what you joke about and who you joke to. All right. What do you say, Drew? Hold the petty.
Control it. I didn't say hold it. I just said control it.
Can you control petty?
We gonna see.
Obviously,
Joe can't. Joe can't.
See, come on now. All right.
That's gonna do it. Don't forget about the guys over HBCU Nightly as we close out.
Exactly. Should be a good show. Thank you guys for watching us. Hit the thumbs up and the like button out the door. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thanks for watching the BCSN Sports Wrap on the Black College Sports Network. We'll see you next Sunday night. Peace out, everybody.
Travel light, everybody. Well, holla.